I'm trying to get it reimbursed by the mud, so that it doesn't cost us anything. So it's there we go. All right. We'll see. Oh man, we're gonna get to that. All right. Logo. We're gonna start with pilot trash cans. Okay. All right. All right. All right. We were talking about Moby.
Yes, Moby, the mobile library. Oh, actually, no, we had.
Oh, yeah.
Moby had her moment.
Okay.
So next slide. Yeah. Okay, so for August, the month that we are in, obviously we are halfway through the month, so we've already had some fun happenings. We had Move Mountains Artisan Market, which was the first artisan market that we've had at Easton Park in quite some time. I think a couple of years actually. And it was such a hit, y'all. It was at Skyline Park, which is our biggest park, of course, our shining star here in the community. And the host of this artisan market actually let us know after the fact that this was one of, if not the most successful artisan market that they have held across all the communities that they host this market at.
And it was freezing temperatures, so next time we should be
Yes.
higher attendance, right? Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
No, it was great. They actually had feedback that several of the vendors sold out, and a lot of those vendors were actually a lot of your neighbors. So lots of entrepreneurial spirit here at Easton Park, as y'all very well may know. So they were showcased at this event, and the occurrence of this will be every first Sunday of every month. So if you didn't make it to this one, please come on by in September. We also had Sparks and Sounds, which was also a great event. I'm going to be biased, they're all great, but what really stood out about this event was it was our first ever fireworks show at Easton Park. So if you didn't see it, you probably heard it, sorry. But it was a great time. We actually have a slide after this one that showcases some of the fun happenings that we had at that event as well. But it was originally our 4th of July event. Of course, we know the weather was not on our side that day, so we rescheduled it, which was perfect timing for our Del Valley kiddos who were going back to school this past Monday. So a little back to school, end of summer bash. And then we have and on the same thread of back to school, our partners at Highland Homes are hosting their own back to school bash at their model home this Saturday from 11 to 1. So if you haven't visited them yet, please go check them out. They have a great model up and running. They're in Prospect Park. Address is included in the slide. But they'll have all sorts of free goodies and giveaways for the kiddos and cotton candy. So bring your sweet tooth with you. We also have a welcome and wellness event this Saturday hosted by Lux Conscious Cleaning Services, which is another one of your neighbors, a resident ran business. So she will be doing a bunch of free giveaways and goodies, as well as an educational seminar on essentially how to keep your home clean and green. So do come check that out. That will be here in the Vaughn on Saturday from 11 to 2, I believe. Yeah. And then we have our golden hour pool party. This is really catered towards an adult atmosphere. So you'll see this theme keep coming up. Another resident ran business. It's Megan with Bayleaf Boards is planning on having charcuterie cups out there. We'll have vegetarian options as well. And a resident DJ will also be spinning the tunes that day. So do come on by. That is on Saturday, August 30th from 7 to 9. We'd love to see you there. Moving on. Oh, yes, this was the highlights from Sparks and Sounds. So we have a couple of the fireworks featured. Whenever that one went off, everyone was like, whoa. So it was really cool. This is a drone shot in the bottom right corner, just kind of capturing the atmosphere. And it's so great to see basically all of Easton Park around it too. We had face painting for the kiddos, a kids magic show, which was clearly a big hit, and also caricature artists as well. So good times. Moving on into September, we have Music in the Park to kick us off. So this is the 3rd of 4 installments that we do every year. And so we'll have our last one in October. But this month, or September's, will feature Bovine, which is a country artist. So we'll have think like an all-American fair. We love to do an immersive experience with the artists that we procure to the drinks and the food that we have out there. So if you're a big music fan, please come on out. We also have our blood drive that weekend on Saturday. At our last blood drive, we helped save 51 lives in our Central Texas neighbors. Yes, yeah. So please come on out and help make a difference. That's on Saturday the 6th. And we host that just here in our kind of side lot from the Union. Then we have our artisan market, as I mentioned, that first Sunday in September. And our Sweet Treat Social, this is something that we do quarterly, and it's essentially a great opportunity for y'all to come meet us. Obviously, you see our faces here, but you get to come hang out with us. Or if you just want to grab and go, that's great too. It's just a quick hour little stop in. We try to change the location of those each time, so you also can become more familiar with your community outside of just your neighborhood. But we'll have a delicious little sweet treat that we'll hold until the day of, but you're not going to want to miss this one. And then we have our community cleanup that is hosted by your neighbors, the Recycling and Sustainability Club. They do this every 6 weeks and they meet at Cenizo. I told y'all I was going to say it again. Also a resident ran business here at Treehouse Food Truck Park. And they also provide free coffee for those who are partaking in the community cleanup. So they meet there at Cenizo Food Truck at 7:45 and then continue on to help beautify our community. So please come on and join them. In October, we have our Music in the Park, the last installment, as I was mentioning. You'll see on there artist TBD. And y'all may know if you've attended before, but a lot of the artists that we do procure are actually Eastonites. So if you yourself or anyone you know is a artist, musician, and would love to be showcased, send them my way. I'd love to have their contact, hear their music, and see if we can get them on our ballot. And 7 to 9 here in the Union as well. Our artisan market also will be taking place. But we are making way for our 7th annual Wicked Walk, which is our signature event here at Easton Park. If you've not experienced it before, if you're going to go to any event at Easton Park, this is the one to go to. We have a wide assortment of entertainment that we'll be having. And we have heard your feedback from years past very loudly, and we are very eager to share that we have implemented some changes based off of that feedback. So it truly will be back better than ever. So please come on and see us. But this massive effort cannot be done without the help of y'all. So going into our next slide, we have a great volunteer opportunity. If you'd like to help be a part of making this big event happen, we have a QR code here that you can scan that will direct you to a form where you can actually fill out your interest if you'd like to volunteer that day. You'll see that we have different shifts that you can sign up for. You can sign up for however many you'd like. It is a beast of a day, so I would just say pace yourself. We had several residents last year who actually basically helped us the entirety of the day. But no pressure. We'd love to have your helping hands and helping make this happen for the community. So if you're interested, just scan the code and we hope to see you there. Yes, question? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes, yeah, we'll see what's going on there because we tested it earlier. Okay. That's technology, y'all. No, but thank you. Well, and sorry for those online, the QR code seems to have also a glitch just to be on brand for the day. So we'll take a look at it, but appreciate that. And then lastly, going into our active clubs. So we do have several resident ran clubs in the community. These are the ones that are most active. In this photo, you see our Bookworms Club, which is, this is a picture of them at our Explorers Day event back in May. So as you see, there are several that are very much active in the community. They do several different things to give back to the community. If there's anything you see on here that you would love to be a part of, feel free to reach out to myself or Paul. Or if there's something that you don't see represented on here and you would like to bring to the community, please let me know. I'm happy to help you get something up and running and just continue to service those gaps that are within our community. And that is all from the engagement team. Thank y'all for bearing with us and moving it on over to Colleen.
So these are some projects. I love to do projects. It's like my favorite thing. So this year we had quite a few. The glass tile at the pool was broken in multiple places. So we actually had that redone. If you haven't seen it, it looks gorgeous. We didn't put glass back.
Okay.
And then we changed the rocks. We realized that that people were taking the little rocks, probably just little kids. and tossing them. And maybe that's why it broke. But anyway, so we got some really big rocks now. So it would take like an army of kids to pick one up, and they look really cool. We placed the carpet in the Costello. It had a lot of stains. It was pulling from the edges. So we got new carpet in there. We actually got a new rower today or yesterday and some new weights. We were looking at the floor. It kept getting marks on it. We're like, maybe we need more rubber flooring. And then we brought the guy and he goes, no, you need different weights because the weights were marking up the floor. So we got the bigger ones changed to urethane, and as the other ones, we'll watch and see how it goes. And we may start replacing the smaller ones. It's just the bigger ones were the big issue because a couple were cracked. So we'll keep working on that. We'll keep watching that. We are getting AT&T fiber. We actually have gotten it. We got one new line. We found that it wasn't enough between us and you guys. So we got a second line installed. They're coming to Friday to test it to see where we are now. So we're going to keep moving up if we have to, but we want to make it so that you guys can come here and work and play and, you know, not have Wi-Fi falling out. We did a lot of painting, mostly touch-ups all around the building to spots that really needed it. Like a lot of the pergola, the metal pieces were looking pretty bad, and some of the wood was looking bad. So this is just one picture here on the bottom right of by the pool that we did some of the paint there. We actually finally got our new pole. Did anybody notice? Out on the other side of the Lowry there on Cold Bluff near the food trucks, we have our electric pole. So hopefully make you guys see. It's dark from a little bit of the sea. We also had, I'll have to get my glasses now, hold on. We just replaced some path lights in Bryant Park today. The fountains in UPW Pond are working now, and we're gonna be working on this one over here soon. It's being looked at right now. We put all new kitty mulch in all the parks because it was getting thin. So that's all done. We upgraded the security system for this building. So if you come here after hours, you're gonna get a big horn blown at you, and if you don't leave, the cops will come. So it's great. We got a nice secure system for you guys now. And then the new dumbbells. Let's see, anything else? Nope. Go to the next page. So this is from Chris. So we are on a big thing right now as far as restaining the fences, because we're supposed to do it every 4 to 5 years. When they start looking like the one on the left there, it's time to start doing them. And what we found is that the one on the left has actually got the approved stain color. When you have a brand new fence and you put that color on, it looks great. But when you put that color on an older fence that's got stains on it, it doesn't look as good. So we actually he went out and got a special paint made from Sherwin-Williams that the one on the right there has been cut, it has gone over an already painted fence. So it really covers well. It's not so transparent. So if you guys want to, you can get this. We got stickers here at the office. You can pick it up and take it right to the store. You can go to that store and ask them for that specific color, Easton Park Cedar Natural Tone, and you can get that color. If you don't want to do it yourself, Certa Pro is really good if you want to have them do it for you, but the fences need to get done. Next page. Towing in the condos. So everybody that's in the condos probably realizes you've got all these red lines around. The streets aren't wide enough to have cars, and then you try to get an ambulance or EMT down there, and it's not going to work. So in the condos, you could park within your driveway. Don't have it sticking out the back end. Make sure that you don't park in your gravel area either. So it's just in that little area there. That's right where your driveway is. It's where you can park. We do have towing, so it will come out and they'll come get you. We do tell them to be mindful if it's a moving van or something like that, someone brand new moving in. And if you need these pictures, we certainly can send this to you so you know what that is. But this is Easton Park residential condos, Union Park and Easton here. And then we go to the next page. It's the same thing in UPW, Union Park West. And I put a picture of Chris so you can see how nice he is. That's Chris. So anyway, that's about the towing. If you have any questions, you can always ask him about that. Going on to the next page is just remember you have a community website. It's called Engage. You can get all kinds of forms on there. You can submit your architectural design requests. You can report violations. If you need to look, we have a report on there that shows all the violations that have gone out for the month in case you're interested to see what that's like. You can get reservations for all of the Stella, the lawn, the parks. There's a community feed, there's the calendar events, and all the groups are on there. So anything you need, that's a great site. If you guys haven't gotten set up with that, do that. Next page. And it's time for AJ.
Right.
We go to the next page.
So of all those things that are said, I always like, listen, I'm like, I have comments for all of them. Some of them I think are funny. They're probably not funny, but added, but I will say of all the stuff that you said, something about Del Valley. So Newton Collins is rated an A school. So like we were C and they were C plus and we were B minus, we were B. Newton Collins is now an A school. And a lot of that is from the support of the community. So the reason you don't see big announcements across Del Valley that we're now an A school is because we are an outlier with the rest of the district. So they're not really sitting there going like, hey, look at this one school that's got it figured out. The principal that was here, Miss Frida, if y'all know her, she's now moved to the district so that she can kind of say, hey, here's a lot of ideas of kind of what we did here at Newton Collins that we can spread across other elementaries, other schools like that. So a couple things like number one, be proud. Easton Park is now host of an A-rated school in the state of Texas. So that's really good for us, really good for our children. But it also shows that if there's community involvement, these schools that might not be performing that well get really better because it's not state funding. It is getting interaction from parents and the community. And so I know that a lot of Easton parents are now have kids that are going to soon go to a middle school, and there's a middle school up the way that is not rated A, but we are all confident that when all the Easton families start interacting with that school and start leaning into that and stuff too, that the rating of that school will go up. So I just want to throw that out there that it's like, it's proof that if a community fully embraces the school that's there, the performance of the school as a whole, all the students are there benefit from it. So I think that's a big compliment to Easton Park. And like I said, it's not something that brought, every time they went up in the rankings, it was broadcasted. And once we got to the top, it kind of was like quiet. They didn't really announce it because they're trying to fix a lot more in the district, but says a lot about our school. So just wanted to throw that out there. That's one of the things I was thinking about. So, all right, commercial update on the retail. So Paul's on Chicon and EP Nail Salon. I don't know, anybody in this room is like, all right, yeah, so everybody's already been there. Cool, that's open. And Frost Bank, of course, a big supporter of the community. The dentist office and the Chiba Hut, they're all working out on the inside. Y'all saw the sign go up for Chiba Hut. It's coming, guys, our first bar. It'll be there at some point, but they're all building out the inside. So that'll be the rest of that building. And I might be misspeaking, but I think there's another room actually in that span that they don't have a renter for, possibly. Might be misspeaking. But we're going to see that built out. That's all coming online. The medical office, that's the district that's right over here by the models, right at Colton Bluff and William Cannon. They are permitting that now. And they're also pre-leasing all that. I saw a release, what they have online of what they're looking at, the architecture there. It's going to be a huge addition to the neighborhood. I think it's going to be in a great location. And also, I think it's going to be incredibly useful. I was just thinking about the idea if I had a family practitioner there and I had a pediatrics doctor there and all this stuff like that, my life would be pretty awesome if I could just go and take care of my medical needs right over here on the corner. So really looking forward to that coming online. I don't have an exact date to give y'all of when they think they're going to break ground on that, but I hear that they're leased up half of the complex already as it is. So everything's moving forward. Once they get built out, hopefully there'll be a lot of tenants there, but that's going to be a big benefit to the community. So the parcel south of the CVS. So this is in between Union Park West and the retail that exists right now. That's First Hartford. That's looking at that. Y'all have seen a lot of stuff online. Everybody's a good sleuth looking at stuff they think they see online. But I can tell you right now that there is one of the pads is a national brand quick lube service kind of thing, and it's, without saying the name, it's the nicest one that exists out there for that. So that is a good thing for us to have there. There is a national coffee chain. It is my wife's favorite. So if you know her, you can ask who that is. But that's coming online as well. And then there's one more pad that's going to sit right on McKinney Falls that they've been courting a couple of different tenants that might go into that one. So not sure what that one's going to be. There's also, then when you go to the east side of that parcel, closer to the Alina Apartments and the park there at Union Park West, that there's going to be 2 different multi-tenant buildings there. So these are the ones where when you're somebody here that lives in Easton and you're like, hey, I have a retail business, I'd love to have a spot, reach out to First Hartford CLD Realty. And that's where you want to find one of those small stalls that are going to be a part of a multi-tenant building and see if maybe your business fits in somewhere there. So, or if you got a buddy that has, you know, a shop that sells whatever and stuff, that's who you should go to. Go to the developers that are running that there. Because like I said, there's these 2 multi-tenant buildings and you can get one of those stalls there to be a part of Easton Park. And then it's at the beginning of this line. I was going to say it in different order, but I typed it in the wrong order. The gym, there we are working with the gym, not working with, I think it's pretty much a done deal, but we're going to wait until and see if they close. It's a mid to upper tier gym, national brand of that. That's the answer for, are we building another gym? So the gym that's here services a lot of people. It's really good when you move in and you don't know, or you're new to this area and you're coming here, or you're a casual person that sometimes likes to jog on a treadmill every now and then. But for the bulk of Easton Park, when we talk about real weightlifting and classes that are offered and all that kind of stuff, the HOA, as great as they are, they're not gym operators. So our answer is going to be a full-fledged commercial gym that's going to sit on that parcel. And that's your option for, you know, monthly subscription to a full gym that offers all kinds of stuff. The operator we're working at, this is going to be one of their upper echelon kind of versions that has a lot of classes and things like that, studios and stuff offered in there. So really looking forward to that coming online. They're anticipating a permit sometime in the spring next year. And as soon as they get that, they'll start building. So when the actual buildings get open, y'all know this all takes time. It all depends. Sometimes they go up in a hurry. Sometimes it takes forever. But that's kind of the timeline we're looking at, is hopefully you see bulldozers out there next spring. Commercial parcels along Slaughter, like at Slaughter and Thaxton and stuff like that. We're talking to a lot of people at those 2 corners of what we're working out, and also along Slaughter. The bottom line is we have nothing to announce here. We haven't made any decisions on that, but all the buzz is catching up to Easton Park, and all the buzz is catching up to the part that Southeast Austin is underserved with all the commercial offerings. If you look at not only Easton, but all of our neighbors around in the surrounding communities, and everything that's in Lockhart and everything that's in Del Valley and everything that's like moving here, we own one of the best corners that exists. It's 183 in Slaughter Lane. So we're talking to a Class A developer right now of what's going to happen at that intersection. There's a lot of big stuff coming. Nothing we can talk about right now because it's all up in the air of when we close on this and then what tenants they get. But we're going to see retail here. This is something I've been promising now for 2 years when I sit up here and say, hey, retail's coming. I know it's a slow moving machine, but all the momentum is catching up now. And we're having real conversations with real players of real names that y'all have all heard, that you all want here. And those will start moving down the road. That is not the plan. That was never the plan. That was something that people take when they're just kind of like, we're the blank of this, like, and people would say it's the domain. There's not a domain in like most cities, except for like the 3 major. We are not going to get Versace outlets. We're not going to get. No, it's going to be more big box style stuff. It's not stuff that's going to get you super excited when you're just like, oh, I can't believe we got one of those. But it's the kind of thing that it's what y'all actually go to on a regular basis, and then it's all going to be out here. So it's not going to be super flashy, super special. Like, I can't believe we landed this, but it's one of those of like, I used to drive to South Park Meadows for this, or I used to go over to Brody for this, or I used to go to this, and now it's going to be like, now it's right next to us. So it's that kind of stuff. Okay. So I think it's going to be super special. I'm excited about the names that I've heard talked about. Like I said, it never was going to be Domain. That is kind of a sales pitch that gets thrown out there because they're like, a town center like Domain. So many people say that out loud. It's non-logical. Even the Domain is having a hard time getting the tenants they have to make that profile work. So it's going to be big box retail, you know, suburbs kind of stuff, but it's going to be our stuff. So that's what's exciting about that. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Hey, go ahead. Yes, go for it. There's not going to be a fence any more than that. It's going to be the back of most of those stores. So there's going to be a standoff because it's going to be the back entrance to a couple of places. That open space, I'm not sure if we're going to connect that or not. I don't think they want to. Well, your private neighborhood has a bunch of public accesses onto public right away. So there's not gates on McKinney Falls, and there's not gates on Colton Bluff, or there's not gates on Union Park Lane. So if this winds up being the back of it, it might be the same situation, but I don't know if that developer really wants to. That one driveway that points into it, I'm not sure if we actually are going to connect it because it might not add any value. If we put a fence across there, then if any of y'all that live there want to walk there, now you'll have to walk out to the outside. So, right. So so it would only be the backside. So I don't think anybody would want to anybody that would come from outside the neighborhood are not going to want to come through Union Park West. So the only thing that road would actually service is people in Union Park West that just want to like hop into it on the backside. Chances are we're not going to connect that. It's a question with the city. The city will determine if they make that developer connect to that roadway. I don't think they're going to. So if that's the case, it's going to sit there, and whether or not we actually put a fence there to just stop it, once we have that determination from the city, then we'll put up a fence. If it's not going to be connected hard, we'll go ahead and just draw a fence across it to just stop it. Hang out, exactly. So, okay, no, but once we get that determination, once they get their permit through, if they're not going to be forced to make that connection, then we'll just go ahead and just cut off that. I know exactly what drive you're talking about. We'll put a fence across it. So,
And for those online, the question was if there was going to be a fence built on Union Park West. And so that was the response.
yeah. Yeah. So, all right. At the bottom, Slaughter Lane. We're actually going to build part of Slaughter Lane finally. It's happening. It's going to probably break ground around October with a early opening in 27. This is going to be from Thaxton Road all the way to Apogee. So we're going to rebuild the Apogee intersection with this new Slaughter, and it's going to go across there. So that's the first big third, the western third of Slaughter Lane. So construction probably starting in October. So, Brookfield pays for all of that.
The question was who pays for that?
The question was who pays for that?
The answer was
Brookfield pays for all of this. So at some point we get reimbursed through the mud, sort of, kind of, but yeah, it's just enabling the rest of our community. Whenever we build this community, we are under certain obligations because of what we are going to add to the traffic system that we then have to build more of the traffic infrastructure. So that's finally starting. I've been flirting with that for a long time during this meeting. We actually know that we're going to get that started in October. All right. And the other two sections that are under construction right now, Pilot Park is phase 3 of that. That's another 140-foot lots that's up there at Pilot Park. Y'all see that construction there. It's all that good dirt moving that's happening up there. So that's y'all's future neighbors that they're up there at the top. That's happening right now. The county has a project to widen Thaxton Road from the part where it goes from 4 lanes down to 2. That's something they've been on the hook for 3 years. They got into an argument with the city about how to handle that. That has since been resolved. So they're going to start that back up. So at some point, I think in the near future, we're going to see that construction start. And that makes it 4 lanes from the top of the hill all the way down past Sassman a little ways. So that's coming. And then Paley Park is our next section of urban homes. So much like Union Park East and Union Village, we're starting more of those down on the south side. That's directly south of Kiki Park. So it's going to sit between Kiki Park and Slaughter. That's what's under construction now on Skytex. Yep. So, all right, next slide. City and county traffic project. So William Cannon East, William Cannon Drive west of Easton Park. They say they're on track to deliver in 2026. That is what they advertised when they started this project in 23. Because they had to start touching our property, we got a little insight to when they're working on this. This was actually going to be an early 26 opening, but they've hit so many roadblocks that they think it's going to be a third quarter or fourth quarter opening of 2026. So that is a city-run project. It has nothing to do with Easton Park. If you have any questions about all the construction that's happening just west of us, reach out to your local city contact. They're the ones that are administering that product or that project. Well, if you want to go directly to the top, that would be Vanessa. Yes. Yep. So it's coming. And that is only when they do that because of the geometry of how the intersection works. We have those 2 lanes that sit in front of the CVS. We can't open that until they finish their project. So as soon as they open that, trust me, we'll be the first ones out there to reroute the traffic and make it full 4 lanes in every direction. Okay. McKinney Falls landscape improvements. I do on time. Oh, okay, I'll keep going. I do want to talk about this a little bit. So everybody's been saying, like, y'all probably been wondering what we've been doing out there. We got to a point where we had to pay for new meters, and because it's so long, the different places that we're going to serve it, the cost that it takes to get a water meter from the city of Austin, it's this huge cost for 1 meter because they have the impact of the fact that you're using water. So they embed it into the cost of the meter itself. It's not the metal you're paying for. It's the fact that you are now going to take a very limited resource. And we had to have multiple ones of those. And they have so many restrictions during stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 that we started looking at this saying, like, we don't want to strap our HOA with this bill. We don't even want to pay the cost to initially get this off the ground. What can we do about this? We have one of our PMs, Mike Lobo, that usually sits right here. He's on my phone right now. We've been leaning into this drought tolerant plants, more native planting, more stuff that's used to the soil out here, not used to not getting rain, not all this stuff. And so we completely on the spot about 6 weeks ago, just redesigned the entire thing with all stuff that needs no irrigation. And that is what I said, it's going to start any day now. It's something that we're going to, like, I saw they're starting it today. We might have to hit it with a water truck a couple of times because, of course, now that we're doing it's, triple digits and stuff like that. So we might have to moisten it up a little bit, but that's what we're leaning into going further with Easton Park. There's still going to be bright green, nice Bermuda in the spots where it matters, the spot where y'all expect it. But in a lot of areas, we are really re-looking at all of our plant palettes to look at more native stuff, more stuff that we can temporarily irrigate it till it gets established and then turn it off. And then stuff that never has to be irrigated because we keep having these drought restrictions. We keep having these huge water bills. And we just overall, like, it makes no sense to try to make something what it's not. So we're leaning into an entire, much more sustainable kind of, it's less expensive, but it's actually more just responsible for us. And so that's something we're looking at of all of our future projects and moving forward in Easton Park. So that's what you're going to see on McKinney Falls, a bunch of stuff that doesn't need water. So that's what's going in. And now that they're actually rolling, the people that do it, they're real fast. So they're trimming down the grass right now, but it's probably a week's worth of planting and we'll be done with it. So it's going to happen real quick. We're still pursuing the crosswalk at Colton Bluff and off of Solari. That's going to Union Village as well as the Ariza Apartments. We've run it through all the bureaucracy in Travis County and eventually got to this one gentleman that he's the slowest reviewer there is in the entire county. And then on top of that, he got tagged to go do flood response for last month. So he doesn't answer any emails because he's not in his office. So as soon as we can get that through the bureaucracy, we'll try to do some enhanced kind of markings across Colton Bluff to get over to that development. Union Park Lane and Potomac Shores, that's over here, right here in Union Park West. We did enhance that, repainted stuff, put up extra signs there. And then Finial Drive. This project to connect Coda Vista, I went back and looked. I started trying to get this done with the county in August of 21. So this is now going on 4 years. And after I've told y'all multiple times this was going to start in July because we were on the last round of comments, the county came back with comments that they should have had a year ago. And they said, y'all should probably redesign the entire road. And then today, Austin Water came back and said, we don't like how you're treating the utilities underneath it. Maybe you should totally rebuild a major wastewater force main, a major wastewater gravity, and a major water line to the tune of a couple million and a couple months extra of redesign. So I cannot give you all a good date on this project anymore. This project is tough, and we were at the goal line and we fumbled on the 1 yard line. Somebody ran it back 99 yards. So now we got a ways to go, and we're going to get this built as soon as I can humanly do it. If you do not like the progress that we are making on this, please reach out to your county and city representatives and tell them that you are disgusted by the lack of their staffing in their review departments, because it is it's a big joke. So that's where y'all can reach out as residents. And I probably said too much on that, but reach out to your elected representatives. All right, next slide. Amenities, we're always looking at stuff. We do have some new things kind of queued up, but there's a lot of other stuff we have going on right now that we have to get things like what I just talked resolved before we can move forward with other plans for amenities that are around some of these projects. As a rule, we're not going back to the super old sections in Easton Park. So if you're hoping for a big new something fancy in Bryant Park, there's a good chance we're not going to do that, but we're taking feedback and rolling into future sections. The second amenity that's coming up, as we've always said, it's going to be on the south side of Easton Park. It's going to coincide with the first residents that are moving in to our future sections there. But we have started concept planning right now. I don't know if anybody in this room was or on the call was part of focus groups. We had a couple different focus groups 2 weeks ago, and we're using best practices. We got a couple different studies going on of what works around this area, what works across the state, what works across the country, and we're wrapping that all into what we're going to plan for this next big amenity. The trails, everybody asked about lighting. Those already happened. You had to know somebody. No, I don't know how to know somebody. I'm just, no.
We had a survey that went out last year and we asked people if they were interested in participating in the focus group. So that's where we picked the focus group participants.
The question was, how are you selected for a focus group? Oops, yep. If you're,
Thank you, Daniel.
sorry.
Just gave you.
The question is, what about people who just arrived?
If we have focus groups in the future, we'll probably have other surveys in the future that will allow you guys to participate as well.
Do we have a plan for the community center? Because this seems very small for the size of the Eastern Park.
We're still working on this, and yes, we're gonna, like, that's what we're developing right now, is a plan for that. There's limited say. There's a lot of things like that, but I mean, there's a lot of, like we're saying, we're taking feedback from a selective group. So it's a, what's this, like a democratic republic? Like, there's a certain amount of people that are representative of this that we brought into those focus groups that try to hit from different neighborhoods, different demographics, different lengths of time they've lived in Easton Park that said they were willing to put a part. So that's what we were hoping to get when we put those focus groups together, was a variety of people that could speak for more people. So we feel like we did hit that. And then we're also taking past surveys that we put out, where those were available to Easton residents over the last couple of years. And then, like I said, best practices in Austin, best practices in Texas, best practices in the country. We're doing a couple of those studies with different groups to kind of pull that all together. So that's where we feel. We do not have the plan already. We have all the data that we are gathering from all these. So we're going to do that over the next 6 months, kind of coming up with that plan. Trails, the biggest thing there is people have been asking for lighting. If we do it permitted and legal through different methods that we know how to do, it's going to cost us about $10 million to light up trails and about 8 years of permitting. We have found a super cheap way to do this, and we are going to beta test this. So all those lights and wire are sitting in my office right now. And at some point, we're going to go out behind Pilot Park. We're going to light up a couple of lights, make sure that it works right. We're going to make sure that it works right. We're going to get the spacing of the lights and stuff like that figured out. And we think we have a hack to actually get this done at a fraction of that cost to do that. So we are moving forward with that. People asked about the Collins neighborhood. Brookfield does not own Collins. That's not our property. It's not our project. We don't know anything about it. I heard from the grapevine they're delayed by at least a year. Seems like they're prematurely set up a sales office. We don't know anything about Collins. And that's why the last time we had a town hall, I said, we are not going to speak about Collins from this table because we don't know anything. We can't speak with authority, what's happening. That's somebody else. And then community fiber, real quick. Community fiber is whenever the developer reaches out to a provider and we contract everything, and then we have one brand of internet. And then when you live here, you just pay us to be on the internet. We have decided that is something that we don't want to do here. We're in Texas. We believe in free choice. Like, there's multiple providers here. Everything that's provided is in a public utility easement. So anybody that wants to come here can jump in here and bring their own lines through Easton Park. Right now, AT&T and Spectrum are here. I challenge you to say that we need other kind of fiber here. If you get the top of either of those two, I'm a big Spectrum user. They have less outage than AT&T. You'll get what you need from there. Have we worked with Google? I've been fielding calls from Google for the last 5.5 years. I've gone through 6 different project teams. They're coming. That has been the response for the last 5.5 years, that they're coming. I think they're coming. Google Fiber will be here when they figure out how to get here. Brookfield and Easton Park are not the impediment to them being here. So we are open arms. As soon as Google wants to be here, all they got to do is come. We will help them along the way. So we're going to try to get Google Fiber here. That was a question from the audience that we got. And so anyways, that's where we stand with that. So with that said, I'm sorry, I tried to go fast. It's 8:30.
No, we're at 7:30 and I know
Or
we had a
7:30.
little bit of a later start, but we are still happy to stick around for a bit. But don't expect anyone to stay. And again, forgive us for that late start, but
I have one question on,
Yes, sir.
do you anticipate a light being added to the exit at Pilot Park onto Thaxton once the road is widened?
No.
Even before, we talked about this last time too, because it's so dark at the entrance.
You're saying like a light, like no, like a pole and stuff? We're- We're gonna wait until the county expands the road. So there's certain lighting requirements that they're supposed to do along their right of way. If they don't do it, we can look at that now, but there's no way we can put up a pole there on the sign. It not, the thing to do is to put a street light. And we're not gonna put a street light there because right now the right of way, the next 15 feet is gonna be county until they build that up to the elevation it's at. If we try to put a street light there, number one, we'd be in the right of way. They won't let us. And then we'd have to move it once they build out that thing. So we're trying to light up the street or we're trying to light up the sign? Well, the lights on the sign then aren't gonna light up the street, so. Right. The answer to that would be a street light on the corner of the intersection. And we can't put that in because they own that right of way that goes into it. And it's at an elevation, they're gonna change that whole ditch. And we can't get permission to stick a sign there, and we wouldn't do that because we'd pay however many $10,000 to stick this thing there that there's not a temporary fix that makes any sense because we would take about 6 months to get it permitted. And for the temporary fix. And by that time, we're hoping they're supposed to start the construction of that widening. It's a crappy situation. They were supposed to start that road. Then whatever jurisdiction owns that will then send somebody a nasty note. So I cannot answer. That's right. Any other questions? If there's Pilot Park one, let's answer non-Pilot Park first. And then I want to keep the line open for Pilot in case other Pilot people called in and want to hear it, but we'll hold those to the back. So yes, ma'am. Okay.
the question was if there is going to be another gazebo at Union Village, the same way that the already built out section has.
Now, yeah, the distance in between those two that face each other is minimal once we put the sidewalks in. So there's just going to be a small green patch that's in between those two sidewalks. Not quite. No, I mean, there'll be front doors will look each other and you'll have your front door, you'll have a lead walk, and then you'll have a stretch of green, and then you'll have another lead walk to the next person's front door. So it's just when you go east, that Paseo opens up.
Yeah.
Where there's area for that. If you go west, all those houses are in line with each other. So it's just a standoff. It's just a green space that you can get out with your dog, a little bit like that, but no other structures being built there. Oh, wait.
The question was if Brookfield owns the open space by Union Village Park.
So it's stuff that's undeveloped right now? Yeah, well, we own it right now. We're selling that to a multifamily developer. So the same way that you have Ariza Apartments, there's gonna be more apartments that are there that own that spot and the spot that's across Hillock. That's gonna be the same complex. So. Yes, ma'am.
The question is, who cuts the trees on Colton Bluff?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Is that a tree that sits in the Montessori school or is it? Wait, so you're on Union Park Lane? Wanting to take a left on the Colton, so you're at that stop sign. From the left, you can't see the stuff coming from. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. So you're sitting there and when you look left, no, you're sitting there at that intersection trying to get on the Colton. And when you look left, you can't see stuff because there's trees along there. That's us. Okay, so that's Hector, that's Urban Dirt, that's we own that. So we can look at that. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right. I just wanted to make sure what perspective we were looking at, because there's like 5 different landowners right there on that corner. So I was trying to figure out for sure. Awesome. That's the ones that just moved. That is, so that whole area, that pond, that all gets reconstructed for slaughter. So at some point, yes, that trail that goes around there, it's chill out. Stuff's getting rebuilt. Okay. So like for one, there's already a connection. It's a loop that goes around that pond. That pond is now going to merge with a larger pond that serves slaughter. And so that trail has nowhere to go. And we were just going to have bulldozers come whack it down. But instead we saw all those trees and said, wouldn't it be cool if we could use these trees somewhere else? So all those trees just got repurposed. And now, Lobo, I don't know if you're still on the phone. I can't remember where they went, but we took all those, I think, where'd they go? Balboa Park. So over in the new park that's over there, we took all those and replanted them in other spots where we need more trees because we didn't want to just lose them to bulldozers because they're nice new trees. That's why they all disappeared, because all of that stuff's about to be hammered and reconstructed and everything. So if you go back to slide 1, sometime around October. Yes, it's a part of the slaughter job. Yep.
And the
So we just got
question was
ahead of it.
Oh, sorry. The question was, why were those trees cut?
Why were the trees on the south side of the Kiki Park pond just removed? And that's going to be a part of the slaughter construction project. So we repurposed those in other places of the community. All right. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
The question is if residents are allowed to make recommendations for the machines at the gym.
You certainly can. Just send it in. We got a new rowing machine because the other one is gone. Last year we got a, kind of a Pilates, not a Pilates, but a physical therapy skier combination. So as we go along, we're trying to be frugal with you guys' money, but, yeah, send it in. Look at it.
All right. Pilot Park, what do you got? Oh, wait, one more and then. Mm-hmm.
I suppose we mow it every 2 weeks as per. Yeah, they said, they actually mow it when, in the summertime, it's been tough because they've had a lot of rain or whatever. There's a little path that goes behind your home. And then there's the native area. So they're supposed to come, about every other week, about twice a month. Okay, I'll get back on.
I more comes every 2 weeks, so watching, okay, when these guys come. I'll call you and then you have to schedule something.
Yeah.
I don't dirt is.
It's still there because we told the builder about that, so I'll go back to that.
Ask me about that, because pilot dirt shouldn't be there, but if it's
No.
on a lot, then it's on a lot.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
a builder
Okay,
that we told
yeah.
him, so.
Ask me, yeah.
Thank you.
Show us.
Sorry, John.
No, it's prospects.
It's one of the builders and we contacted them, so they should have picked it up, but I'll go back and search and find out who that was.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
It's like, I have to remind you, it's your green space. I need to know it.
Yeah,
I-
no, absolutely.
Well, look at it. If it's a builder, it's not a green space. It's just a lot.
Well, it's, she just had the pond behind her home and there's a strip behind her house that's supposed to get mowed.
If that's the case, that's me though.
No, it's Hector, I believe. It's her.
Well, on,
She's in Prospect.
if it's pile of dirt and it's not on a builder lot, that's
Oh,
on.
it's talking about mowing the lawn.
There is the.
Right.
There's pile of dirt at the end of that green strip.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. If there's a pile of dirt and it's not on a builder lot, then it's a pile of dirt I need to handle. So just let me know what, let me know what lot it is. Okay,
I'll get back on Hector about your mowing.
we'll figure it out. And it's either, yeah.
I don't mind because I will not stop bugging him until he does it. So you go right ahead and tell me.
I'm happy to know it. And
No.
All right.
No.
All right.
we know the land too.
All right, pilot, what do y'all got? Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The
question
Brookfield
for-
president is now talking to the Perry president. It, Brook, mhm. Oh, and that trash comes from Perry lots. So I'm very aware of this. So like, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of coming around, but we're hammering them as much as we can from the land side. Yep. Mhm.
So I don't know who talked to you about that. Builders?
It's builders, and the builders all have subs, and the subs all have subs. And these are a bunch of nameless, faceless people that get hired to do things and stuff. So we do some stuff. We do certain accountability things. We do certain safety talks. We have certain kind of this. We crack down when we know certain people, but a lot of these people work for every builder or no builder, or they're connected to somebody that does something. We are using every mechanism we can to try to hold people accountable, but there's somewhat, this is the reality of the economy here. And some of that stuff is the result of the economy here. That's what we're gonna get, if you know what I'm saying. So. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, it's Saturday, and I moved right across.
Right.
That's my house, but
Yep.
I'm just next door.
Bottom.
So we get together sometimes, and it was all residents for Pilot Park.
Yep.
So it was Saturday, and then one of us parked on the street on their side, and he came out and yelling at us.
He comes out running, like, you don't park, you can't park your window open. I was like, dude, it's on the street.
It's first of all, it's street parking.
You're right.
And there are people parking outside of my house all the time.
So can we just go to, should we just go to?
That, I can zap that problem real fast. All right. The question was, are you allowed to park in front of the Perry model in Pilot Park? And the answer is yes. And if people scream at you, AJ's gonna handle that problem. Okay. Perry model getting it. Okay. All right. Right. Yep.
The question is who's
Way around.
All of that is all KB. Even right behind y'all's. I don't want to misspeak. I think there's a chance that we have urban dirt going out there just to do the stuff behind y'all's park, just to keep it nice, but that's not our land. That's KB. They're supposed to be handling that. I believe that's why you at least get the touch up, is because Easton is kind of going out there saying, we're going to touch this up. Let me retouch that engagement with their management and make sure that somebody's on a regular. Yep. Right. You're stuff the stuff that's just right there on that trail, but it's that open spot. Right, right, right. Uh-huh. Right, right. Okay, let me check it. Who's doing that? So, okay, and trail. All right. Cool. All right.
That pilot looks like.
Over at the trailhead? Oh, after at that sign? Yeah, that just trickles. Yep. Yeah, that just comes on a regular, it's on the irrigation. So every time it like just cycles. Yeah. You just want to see them? Right. Oh, yeah.
Kitty park? I'll check with the guys, but I believe we paid a lot, so. I'm sure we got them all.
Out, so.
I'll make sure that we got them.
Okay.
Yeah. That little water that's on the pilot thing, we came up with some way that we can like hook that up to the irrigation system and try to add a water feature. We're not allowed to add a water feature, and we were just trying that out. And it worked multiple times when I saw it, but let me make sure that that's still on there. So that was just something we've been, that goes back to this whole cost effective way of just like, hey, is there any way to add this stuff there? If you add it into the irrigation, it can recycle through there, and now all of a sudden you have now a fountain. You have some kind of like interesting water feature that we've connected through that and stuff like that. So that's what it is working. So I'll make sure it's working out. Is that it? This is easy from pilot. No, okay. No, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Yep. Right. Yep. 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 Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. The low side. Right.
So like service this, like trying to get into their backyards. So.
It's become very challenging. I
Yeah.
tried the Spider-Man.
You shouldn't, and let me work on that. There's a lot of things that were talked about, a lot of things that were promised to me about that. Because really what you have to do is you have to treat the upper level, and you have to put a certain kind of rock up there so that nothing ever grows over that. And there was some changes in the office that of the people that were building that right at the time that was becoming a problem. And now that it's kind of there, if we choose to do something, we're going to have to go on other people's property to kind of rework some other stuff. Let me get you a better answer on that one. And let me figure out how we're going to tackle that completely. There's a lot of ideas we had, but we don't, I don't have a good answer, and it's obviously not being taken care of. So, yep. Yep.
Like,
I know what you're talking about. I'll try to get you something better there, and we'll handle it. If it costs something at some point, Brookfield, we'll just go handle it because I know it's a problem. So let me get you a better answer at that, because I know it's going to be there and it's going to happen on every other wall. So, yep. I'm with you. So, all right, guys, we're super late. I think we're going to wrap here. I appreciate everybody hanging out as long as we have, but it's been good conversation. I know there's people online that are still listening to us talk through this stuff, so I appreciate all that. So, Colleen, anything else?
Thanks for coming. So our meeting has ended at 7:48 PM.
Right.
Thank you.
There you go. See you later, Lobes.
We get together.